Right. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Paul. I'm also called Knickknack. I'm the brains behind Knickknack's Daily Teaser, which is a lot of quizzes. I'm the man who writes Knickknack's Old Peculiar, possibly the most boring blog on the planet. And I'm also the guy that does or watches TV shows and movies and then tells you what he thought of them. This is one of those movie reviews. Saturday night, the 25th, saw me watching Star Trek Section 31. This is what I thought of it, and if you agree or disagree, please feel free to say what you think at the bottom there. Let's get a move on, shall we? Star Trek Section 31 opens with the by now familiar Star Trek ident, and then shifts to an intertitle that shows us a quote from Aeschylus about fate, and then shifts again to show us a young Philippa Georgiou, Miku Martineau, returning home to meet her family in the Terran Empire for one final time before poisoning them in the competition that leads to her claiming the throne of the Terran Empire. The one last thing she has to do is enslave the one surviving competitor, Sang, James Hwang, before she gets to sit on that throne. The scene shifts again to many years later to a briefing film for a team from Section 31, the Federation's Black Ops group, reminding us that Philippa, Michelle Yeoh, is from a parallel universe and that the former Emperor's help is needed in retrieving an unidentified superweapon before it goes off. The scene then shifts again to show Philippa happily in charge of a space station-sized nightclub called the Baran. Her only problem with what seems to be a busy good night is the small team of Section 31 agents she's seen scattered amongst the crowd, and that team's leader, Alok, Omari Hardwick, heading rapidly towards her. Alok and Section 31 have a proposition for the former Emperor. Now, what did I think of Section 31, of a film with an Oscar-winning heavyweight as its main big attraction? Let's start with that heavyweight and start with Michelle Yeoh, shall we? She is absolutely superb. From the film's campy opening scenes, which is as catty as anything that goes meow, right through to the dramatic end scenes, and through several chases, fight scenes, and a hell of a lot of witty dialogue, Yeoh puts in an absolutely stinkingly good performance. I don't know if it's her best, because outside of Star Trek Discovery and Tomorrow Never Dies, I've seen little of her work, but Section 31 has certainly got me thinking I should catch some. As for the rest of the cast, we have a strong ensemble, especially in the shape of the various members of Alpha Team, the Section 31 squad whose story this is, and in particular in the shape of Omari Hardwick as Alok Saha, the team leader. He's a human augment born in the 20th century, recruited by Section 31, and on a similar redemptive journey to Georgiou's own. This main character is more than a match for Georgiou, and the actor, Hardwick, certainly on a par with Michelle Yeoh, or at least I thought so, certainly. There is one early scene where Alok is making his initial recruitment pitch to the former Emperor that I thought was riveting to watch. They're in her office, and it shows us Emperor Georgiou's restraint and reminding us she's a leader, and a leader that you have to persuade, as she tells Alok himself. Much, I suspect, as Alok would have to convince Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, any of those hard-nosed, famous leaders through history. I suspect that they would be much like Georgiou at her most imperial. You don't necessarily need to torture a load of puppies to get their attention, something I suspect she'd enjoy, but you have to persuade her with an explanation, an accurate one, of what's happening and how you think it should be solved. Hard facts, as well as explanations, as much as anything else. And it's something I felt Hardwick, as Alok, did with both restraint, persuasiveness, and quite a lot of very quiet charisma. That scene shows exactly how Georgiou works as a leader and as a character at her best, and shows us exactly how she should be coaxed into doing something. That scene set the tone for the entire movie. What else should I be telling you here at this point? Should I be telling you that the supporting characters, Quasi, Zeph, Rachel Garrett, and Fuzz, played by respectively Sam Richardson, Robert Kaczynski, Casey Roll, and Sven Rugrock, I hope I've got that right, played their parts very well and are as dirty a metaphorical dozen as we could hope for. That goes without saying. Could I say that the plot is a mixture of any three given heist movies you care to mention, with far wittier dialogue and some riveting chases and fights? That goes without saying as well. The fact that there is the inevitable Star Trek fan recognisable Easter eggs. The name of the ship is the Garbage Scow, and that's a reference to the Enterprise. Takana 4 is a reference to a Next Generation character's homeworld. There's at least 3 alien species cropping up who we've not seen in years. Yes, it is something that goes without saying, and it also goes without saying it's something fans will love spotting and won't alienate non-fans. There's tons of unsayable stuff, including the simple fact that the voice of Control, the boss of Section 31, heard in the opening of the film, is a big Hollywood superstar who is not going to be named by me. I want to make sure I leave some sort of spoilers. There is plenty to say about Section 31. Part 5, last words. Part 5, last words, he says, quickly checking the time. Plenty to say. Yes, there is plenty I could say about Star Trek Section 31. Firstly, yes, I think it deserves a sequel. This is a romp with sympathetic, well-developed characters, an equally sympathetic villain, fights, chases, and a pair of main characters, Giorgio and Alok, who make for engaging, watchable protagonists. And they're characters that deserve development and have been set up for a follow-up, and I think that is a follow-up we should see. Secondly, my only complaint about Star Trek 31, Section 31, is that quite simply, and as far as I can tell, Paramount have only released the film to Paramount Plus, their streaming service, to TV. It's a TV movie, in other words. They've not done what Netflix does with some of its films and gives them a simultaneous theatrical and streamed release. Even if Netflix only does that so a film can qualify for the Oscars, I think the company is doing the right thing there. It gives people a chance to see a well-made film on the big screen they're supposed to be seen on. I feel that Section 31 deserves the same treatment. Watching the TV movie I saw on a big screen would make a very good made-for-TV movie into a very good blockbuster. Lastly, thirdly, and at the risk of repeating myself, Section 31 is a hell of a lot of fun. It's got enough action to satisfy action diehards. It's got characters worth watching, and it's got some very, very, very funny dialogue. Dialogue to die for. And it has a cameo at the end that had me, for one, laughing my head off. I didn't think the person was a Star Trek fan, to be honest with you. I would seriously urge you to watch it, and I would seriously urge you not to miss Star Trek Section 31. Right then, folks, with all of that lot said, done, dusted, and swept under the carpet, I hope you've enjoyed my review of Section 31. I hope you actually enjoyed the film, whether you liked my review of it or not. If you did or you didn't, please feel free to leave me a comment in the section underneath. Please feel free to leave me a tip that I'll try and...
It's 16:45.
Thank you, Killer. Please feel free to leave a tip up in the corner there and explore some of my other content on YouTube. My channel is Mr. Cuddy2977. The blog's called Knickknacks Old Peculiar. And I hope and pray and severely, severely think you have a good day. Take care, have fun, and be seeing you.